Carter Bryant is quietly turning into a real issue for the league, and the wild part is barely anybody's talking about it yet. He's not the Spurs rookie getting all the nonstop hype. Dylan Harper grabs the headlines. Wemby gets treated like a basketball alien every time he touches the floor. Stephon Castle gets the gritty tough guy praise. De'Aaron Fox gets the veteran star attention. Meanwhile, Bryant's sitting back like, all right, cool, keep watching everybody else. And honestly, that's what makes this dangerous. The scariest player is usually the one people notice too late. Right now, Bryant feels exactly like that type of guy. He's not the flashy rookie casual fans spam online every day. He's the player coaches notice after 2 or 3 possessions and suddenly start asking, wait, why is this kid already wrecking our offense? That's when the real conversation starts changing fast. If you're a real basketball fan and part of the huge group still watching without subscribing, now's the time to join the NBA Inside family. Now let's be real for a second. Carter Bryant is not being pushed as the main story in San Antonio, and honestly, that's understandable. Wembanyama is still Wembanyama. The guy looks like somebody created a player in a video game, maxed out the wingspan, then said, yeah, this should be legal. Harper is the exciting new guard with the draft buzz, the smooth handle, the downhill speed, and the type of game that makes fans start fake trade talks before the season even starts. So Bryant naturally fades into the background a little, but honestly, that could end up helping him big time. While everybody debates Harper, Fox, Castle, and what the Spurs' backcourt could become, Bryant's building the exact type of role winning teams are desperate to find. Big wing, defends hard, runs the floor, cuts at the right time, blocks shots, plays with energy every possession, and maybe most important of all, he doesn't need the ball in his hands every 5 seconds just to feel involved. That sounds simple, but players like that are rare. Every team in the NBA is searching for somebody who can do all the dirty work without complaining, and the Spurs might have landed one quietly. The first thing people notice is the frame. Bryant looks exactly how a modern NBA wing is supposed to look. Long arms, quick feet, real bounce, real movement. He's not one of those super skinny projects where teams spend 3 years hoping weight room sessions magically fix everything. Physically, he already looks prepared for NBA action, and that matters a lot. Defense in this league isn't just about playing hard. Plenty of players try hard. But without the body, timing, instincts, and movement, all that effort just turns into fouls and chaos. Bryant actually has the tools to make his defense matter. He can slide with wings. He can stay attached to guards. He rotates fast from the weak side. He closes space in a hurry. And when he jumps to contest a shot, it's not some soft little hand-up contest either. It's the type of athletic pop that makes offensive players hesitate in the middle of a move and think, maybe not this time. That's why people keep bringing up the OG Anunoby comparison, and honestly, it makes sense. Nobody's saying Bryant already is OG, so relax before people start yelling online. The comparison is about the build, the defensive style, the movement, and the role. When scouts say, OG Anunoby, but more athletic, they're talking about the blueprint fitting perfectly. A strong defensive wing, big enough to guard bigger players, quick enough to stay in front of guards, dangerous cutting to the basket, and useful without demanding touches every trip down the floor. That player type is gold in today's NBA. The guys who handle the dirty work are the ones that make stars look even better, and for San Antonio, Carter Bryant fits that mold almost perfectly. Because when you already have Wemby, not every young player needs to become a 25-point scorer every night. Sure, that sounds nice on paper, but that's not how great teams are built. You need balance. You need players who connect everything together. You need defenders who keep the game under control instead of turning every possession into chaos. Most importantly, you need players coaches can actually trust during playoff matchups instead of hiding them every defensive possession like a bad report card. Bryant has a real chance to become that kind of player. That's why he's quietly turning into a problem around the league. Not because he's dropping 30 every night, but because he makes basketball easier to organize. He helps clean up mistakes. He fills gaps. He keeps the system flowing. And defensively, pairing another long athlete next to Wembanyama could become scary if the Spurs develop it correctly. Think about it. If Bryant pressures the ball and gets beat, Wemby's waiting behind him like the final boss of the paint. If Bryant rotates early and forces a bad pass, the Spurs instantly get out in transition, and now defenses are scrambling while Wemby comes flying down the floor like something straight out of a nightmare for opponents. Bryant helps create those possessions. There's already a clip making rounds online where he gets 3 blocks in under 30 seconds, and yeah, highlight clips can exaggerate things sometimes. But this one stood out because of how the plays happened. The timing looked natural, the reactions were quick, the second jump was explosive, the recovery speed popped immediately. That stuff matters. A lot of rookies enter the league with crazy athleticism, but not all of them understand when to actually use it. Bryant already flashes moments where the timing looks real instead of reckless. That's where things start getting interesting. Raw athleticism is cool for posters and dunk contests. Defensive athleticism is completely different. You have to rotate early without gambling too much. You have to stay physical without constantly fouling. You have to attack aggressively without losing track of your assignment. And Bryant already looks like he's learning how to make the simple, smart play first. That feels very Spurs-like. Frustrating for opponents, but smart basketball. Now, offensively, there's still work to do, and it's important to be fair about that. Bryant is not a finished scorer right now. He's not the type of player you throw the ball to late in the shot clock and say, go rescue the possession. That's not really his game yet. The handle still needs tightening. The jumper has to become more consistent. The self-creation isn't fully there yet. If defenders run him off the three-point line, the second dribble and decision-making can still get shaky sometimes. That's real. But the important part is, he doesn't need to become a superstar scorer immediately to help this team win. He can cut hard to the rim. He can sprint the floor in transition. He can crash the glass. He can knock down open shots if defenses forget about him. He can attack space when the defense bends toward the stars. And he can sneak behind the defense for dunks near the baseline like a surprise Bill showing up out of nowhere. That role matters a lot next to players like Wemby and Harper. Star players bend defenses out of shape. Smart role players punish teams for overreacting. And if Bryant becomes a reliable corner shooter, cutter, and transition finisher, he could turn into one of those frustrating playoff wings that quietly steals momentum while everybody's too busy watching the stars. Every great team has a player like that. The guy opposing fans slowly start getting annoyed by because he keeps making the winning plays at the worst possible time. He hits the open three. He grabs the offensive rebound nobody boxed out for. He gets the deflection that completely flips the momentum of a quarter. Those players don't always dominate headlines, but coaches love them and contenders need them. That's the lane Carter Bryant is stepping into right now. And honestly, this is where the ceiling debate starts getting wild. Some people compare him to Danny Green, a bigger, stronger version of that elite 3-and-D role player who always seemed to impact winning basketball when it mattered most. That comparison makes sense. Smart defense, reliable effort, playoff value, all of that fits. But then other people take it way further and bring up Tracy McGrady. Now hold on, that's a massive leap. That's basically taking the elevator straight to the roof and saying, yeah, I think I can fly from here. But you can still understand why people get excited. Bryant has the size. The movement looks smooth. The athleticism pops. The frame looks NBA already. And when fans see a young wing with that kind of body and bounce, imaginations start running fast before the jumper is even fully developed. For me though, the real question isn't whether Bryant becomes T-Mac. The better question is this: can he become a high-level defensive wing who gives San Antonio enough offense to stay on the floor during big playoff moments? Because if the answer is yes, that's already a huge win for the Spurs. With Wemby, Harper, Castle, and Fox already handling major offensive responsibilities, San Antonio doesn't need Bryant to become the entire offense. They need him to become the piece that makes everything fit together cleanly. And honestly, that's why he's so interesting right now. He can grow naturally without forcing the franchise to completely reshape itself around him. He can develop inside a winning structure. He can make mistakes without needing to force 20 shots a night. He can contribute defensively right now while the offensive side keeps improving over time. That's valuable basketball. That's not empty hype or social media excitement. That's real roster building. Casual fans are usually late noticing players like this because most people focus on scoring first. first. They notice the player with the ball, the flashy crossover, the step-back three, the crazy stat line. That's normal because scoring is loud. Defense is quieter. Smart cuts are quieter. Rotations and positioning don't always show up in highlight clips. But coaches notice it. Teammates notice it. And once a player like Bryant starts earning real playoff minutes, suddenly everybody else starts paying attention too. That's how these players become serious problems around the league. Slowly at first, then all at once. First, the scouting report says, "Don't leave him open in the corner." Then it changes to, "Watch his cuts." After that, it becomes, "Don't throw lazy passes near him." Then eventually teams start saying, "Maybe stop attacking him altogether." And once a young wing reaches that level, he's not just another role player anymore. He becomes a matchup issue. That's exactly what San Antonio is trying to build, a lineup where Wemby protects the rim, Castle applies pressure, Harper attacks downhill, Fox pushes the pace, and Bryant quietly holds the entire defensive structure together like glue. That's a ridiculous young core the Spurs are building right now. Seriously, at some point the rest of the NBA has to look around and ask, who allowed this to happen? San Antonio already landed the generational superstar big man in Wemby. Now they're stacking guards, wings, defenders, athletes, and all these long, switchable players that somehow look built in the same basketball lab. And Carter Bryant is a huge reason why this situation could get scary fast, because if he develops the way the Spurs hope, the entire ceiling of this team changes. Not because he suddenly becomes the #1 scoring option, but because he makes life harder for everybody trying to attack their stars. He makes lineups bigger, faster, meaner, more versatile, more frustrating to play against. That matters when playoff basketball arrives in May and June. Superstars are important, obviously, but contenders also need the players who survive pressure possessions. The guys who don't panic when elite scorers target them over and over. The players willing to rotate one extra time, absorb contact, contest shots, then sprint the floor on the next possession like nothing happened. Bryant already flashes signs of having that kind of mentality. Now, to be fair, patience still matters here. He's not a finished product yet. He's going to have rough nights. There will be games where the jumper completely disappears. He'll pick up rookie fouls. He'll miss a rotation on a back cut. He'll fall for a pump fake and have the coaching staff staring into space wondering what just happened for a few seconds. That's normal for young wings. Development is rarely clean. But the important part is the foundation, and Bryant's foundation checks a lot of boxes smart teams love betting on: size, athleticism, defensive instincts, effort, feel for the game, and a role that actually makes sense for his skill set. Most importantly, he's in the perfect situation. The Spurs don't need to rush him into becoming something he's not ready to be. He can grow naturally inside a structure that already has stars carrying the heavy offensive pressure. That gives him time to sharpen the sign details instead of forcing bad habits too early. That's why Carter Bryant is quietly becoming a real problem around the league. While everybody else focuses on the bigger names, Bryant is slowly turning into the exact type of wing contenders spend years searching for later, and usually end up overpaying to get. And if the jumper keeps improving, if the defensive timing keeps getting sharper, if the confidence keeps growing possession after possession, this could become uncomfortable for the rest of the league very quickly. The Spurs don't need Carter Bryant to become the face of the rebuild. They just need him to become the player opponents forget about for 1 second before he suddenly wrecks an entire quarter for them. And honestly, that might be even more dangerous.